You know, if we're smart about this, we can take some of the tools that we learned during the worst of the pandemic, minus the real pain in the butt stuff, and we could stay healthier as a result. Our Katie Eastman is talking about those days when, you feel a little under the weather, but still want to work, like she is today.
Here I am, back in my makeshift home office, but I don't have COVID. It's likely some other kind of virus, that pesky cold we used to get all the time and infect our colleagues with. UCHealth infectious disease doctor Michelle Barron remembers those days.
Think back to the way we used to behave when people had colds.
And I'm guilty of this, of saying don't worry, it's not COVID. But I don't want to give it to anybody else either. No one else wants the other thing I have. You know what that saying?
Yes, absolutely. I think I get the exact same reaction. Oh, I don't have COVID. I'm like, yeah, and you got something nasty, don't come over to my house.
So maybe it's time to shift that mindset of knowingly getting other people sick, especially when the pandemic forced us to get familiar with how not to spread an airborne illness.
If you have a cold, symptoms, flu, whatever it is, even if it's not COVID, you can give it to other people. So maybe staying home is still a good idea, or masking if you have to go into work and preventing that spread to other people.
Eventually, Dr. Barron says when there's more baseline immunity for COVID-19, we'll look at respiratory illness season with COVID, colds, flu, and RSV all lumped together and fight them in the ways we know how.
It'll be just respiratory season like it's always been. It's just we now have more players with names that everybody is aware of.
For Next, I'm Katie Eastman.
Dr. Barron told Katie that they are not seeing seasonality with COVID-19 at this point. Dr. Barron said testing and quarantine remains the plan so you can avoid getting other people sick.